Okay, so we're moving on to the rear suspension for the 5-lug conversion. In this case, I've got the rear trailing arms out of the car. You could probably do this job with them in the car, but I wanted to do a little cleanup and repaint on them, so I went ahead and took them out. I think it made their job a little bit easier as well. We've got these rear bearings here, and I've got one of the trailing arms. So I have a new bearing that I pressed in here. Well, I didn't really press it in. I just smacked it with a hammer until it went in. But the way I did it without damaging the surface of the bearing is I used the old race. This is the outer race from one of the old bearings. And you basically end up destroying the old bearings to get them out of the trailing arm. And then I pounded out the race. And that actually gave me a perfect diameter to work with a hammer to kind of work my way around and seat the bearing. It's a little risky because it's a pretty thin material. So if you were to get off to the side like that and really whack it, you could damage the seal right here and potentially the bearing underneath. So you got to go slow, make sure you get it right. Anyway, here's one that's done, and I'm going to move on to the next one now. So the first thing I did on the other trailing arm, it's pretty well cleaned up, but I just wanted to be sure that the inside surface was nice and smooth. So I just went through with some steel wool, pretty fine steel wool, just to make sure the surface is really nice and smooth, that there isn't any corrosion or hardened grease on it. I just want to be sure that that new bearing is going to slide in nice and smooth. And I've got the new bearings. Again, these come with the kit, the 5-lug swap from PMB. So all the new bearings that you'll need come with this kit. One thing I did on the front bearings, I'll just put a small amount of grease on the where the race is going to slide in to the suspension parts, just to make sure I don't get any binding when I'm trying to tap these in. Ideally, these would be done with a shop press. I'm sure that's the preferred method, but all we have is a big hammer. Also, I will say that the rear bearings do seem totally symmetrical. They look the same with the seal on both sides, and then on the inner race they have a little shoulder on both sides. So it seems like they could be interchangeable, but only one side has the actual lettering with the part number. So I went ahead and put that so that it's facing to the outside. Don't know if it matters, but that's the way I did it. And so now it is time to see if I can fit this bearing. The other one went pretty smooth, but it took about 5 minutes of working back and forth with the hammer just to make sure it didn't go in at an angle or anything. Okay, so that's flush right there. You can really tell when it finally seats against the flange on the other side because it becomes rock solid. You can feel that it gives just a little bit when you hit it with the hammer and the spacer, whatever you're using to do that. But looking in from the back side, looks pretty flush. I'm going to give it a couple extra whacks right here just to make sure. Alright, well, that is definitely in there as far as it goes. Of course, there's the cover plate that goes on over that, and always good to make sure it's still spinning, didn't distort it or anything. And there it is, 2 bearings for the rear trailing arms. So now I've got the 5-lug drilled hubs from PMB pressed back in with the new bearing. And it's kind of interesting. I didn't really know this about putting the hubs in, and hopefully I'm right with this, but the hub moves a little bit even though it's fully pressed into the new bearing. And the driver's side, which is already done, was like that as well. As soon as I put the CV axle in and torqued down the CV bolt, the whole thing just became super stable. I mean, there's absolutely no play on the other side. But for right now, the main focus for me is to get these studs installed correctly with red Loctite. And I've already done a couple of them, but I'll just go through my method here. So here's one of the studs that's been double nutted. And one thing I've been doing is threading them in before I put the Loctite on. And I just want to make sure that they're getting all the way down to the shoulder on the stud here. So I just kind of do that and just rotate them back and forth a little bit just to make sure they seat up nicely before I finally commit with the Loctite. So this one's already been done. So I'm going to go ahead and put a little Loctite on it. Not putting much because it seemed like the tutorials I read about it said you really didn't need much. And I'm just kind of working it back and forth a little bit to make sure the Loctite that's on there is really getting distributed onto those threads. And then I've been using a wrench, and I just carefully put it on two of the existing studs, and then I can kind of finish working this in until I see it go against the shoulder right there. Snug it up a little bit more, and then set the torque to 25 pounds. And then I remove the double nuts. So when you get these re-drilled hubs from PMB, you can actually see there's a flange behind, like kind of a reinforcement boss behind the hub where the original 4-lug bolt pattern was, and the new holes that were drilled are offset from that. So I just started threading it into the wrong one there. So, and there it is, a 5-lug swapped rear hub. Now these 15 by 7-inch cookie cutters that I'm going to be running on this are kind of an aggressive offset and size for a narrow body car. I had previously rolled and pulled these fenders a little bit. So I've got the 5-lug swap on the 914 done here. I've got my 15 by 7-inch cookie cutter wheels at all 4 corners mounted on. You can see the extended studs here that will give me some more options in the future, or maybe even in the short term, to kind of play around with spacers to get the stance to look a little better. But I'm very happy with how it's looking. My brother had some new but a couple-year-old Sumitomos in a 195/55. So he donated them to the project. So I've got some pretty much new rubber on here, which was really, that was kind of a relief for me because I was debating which size tires to put on. And these are a little smaller than I would have planned to run. I was thinking about doing a 205/50. The 195/55 gives about the same sidewall, and I think with the 1.7 that I'm running in the car right now, that having a little smaller tire, a little narrower tire is going to suit it better. And so anyway, they're looking good. You know, mostly the job went pretty well. The front end, I felt like, I mean, it was time consuming, but everything kind of went according to plan. Installing the races and the bearings and getting the, getting the new PMB 5-lug drilled rotors on, all worked out pretty well. At the back, it was a little more of a battle. I ended up removing the trailing arms, and it took some work to get those larger bearings in place. And then I kind of screwed up and stripped the threads on the passenger side CV axle. So fortunately, someone on the 914 World forum sent me a new stub axle, which just I bolted onto my existing CD because the CDs were in good condition, so I was happy with that. And then once I got all of that in place, you know, it all went together very smoothly. Right now the car is not drivable because the rear calipers were seized, which I was kind of thinking they were. I didn't really think they were functioning on the car. I had managed previously to rebuild the front calipers, and they're working pretty well. But the rear calipers are at PMB performance right now, and they are getting rebuilt and restored, which of course Mini 914 and other classic car owners know that they just do exceptional brake work. So I'm excited to get the rear calipers in, and so hopefully soon they'll be in place and I can get the brake system bled and the car should be operational again.